hello. This is the second part of the interview, which actually Paulo Nideck is interviewing me. So if you're watching or listening to this and you didn't listen or watch the first part, so go ahead. If you're watching or listening somewhere else, so go there and see the part 1 and watch part 1. Now on the part 2 we're going to keep the conversation, and Paulo Nideck is going to, yes, it's not a formal interview, that's just a chat, a conversation with a friend of mine and who is an English teacher as well, and we're going to keep this way. So if we have some people online already, and the ones that already watched the part 1 understood what this is like. This is not a class, and this is not something very difficult. No, that's just a conversation. So if you guys have any question, if you guys want something to be explained, please let us know, that we're going to try to explain in a easier way. The intention is trying to make it simple for people to understand, not only the ones who are learning English, but the English speakers. I have a lot of friends who are native in the English language, or I have friends in Europe, in the United States. Hello? I have friends in Australia, and I want these people to be able to be engaged with us too. All right? So now I'm going to call Paulo, and I'm going to read one question which came from the Instagram. All right? While Paulo comes here. Okay, Okay, Paulo.
Here we are.
You're back. Good. So, Paulo, would you mind if I answered one question that we have on the Instagram post that I posted about this live?
Go ahead.
Okay. The question is from Sarah Jack, one of my students and very good friend. She is very engaged in our community.
Awesome.
So she asked, she said, "It is great. And Cleydson, tell us in your interview, what is your favorite topic of study and teaching? Thanks." And that's a very good question. I like this question. And to be honest, I didn't think a lot about that, so I'll try to to answer that. And I want your answer as well, okay, Paulo? So while I answer that, you may think about your response to that, okay?
Sure.
So, tell us what is your favorite topic of study and teaching? So first, I'm going to answer what is my favorite topic of study. I am a generalist. So it means I'm not an expert in something, and I was talking to Paulo earlier, and actually I said it before, that I kind of cheated. So because with English I can talk about anything, I can talk about everything. I just do it in English. So I talk about the house, family, food, sports. I can talk about anything. It just needs to be in English. And I do that in other subjects as well. But I am always learning and studying about self-development and the old self-help, right? Yeah, so sometimes things are useful, sometimes things are not useful, but I can see a lot. And to be very honest, every day I have the impression that the books are repeating themselves. Like I am
80%,
listening to
80% of them are. It's not you only arguments, they are.
Yeah, they're saying the same thing over and over again. So sometimes they have new terms to the same thing. So one says, no, this is the behavior trigger, and the other, no, this is the mind button, and the other, no, this is the godly snap. So, but I feel like I'm listening, I'm reading the same thing over and over again, but I'm still do that because I like to see new perspectives. I like to understand how people think. I have more instruments to help other people because different approaches help different people. And it makes me understand better what I do. And something that I always like to study about and I never get tired of is art. You know, when whether writing, painting, etc. So even in my posts or videos, even when I am not speaking about art, I try to do some art. I draw things, I write some verses. So I love art. I like entertainment too, but in education, for example, I use entertainment as a medium, as a way, a vehicle to get to the point where I want to follow. For example, now, for us, it's entertainment. For Paulo and I, it's good to have a good chat, right? But it can help you. So I said it's a conversation thing. So now you're listening. If you're studying English, that is interesting, that is relevant for you. But for me, I cheated. Paulo, let's talk. Let's have a good talk, a good conversation, and let's invite people to participate. Sorry?
To listen to it.
Yeah, and to listen.
Yes.
Yeah, some people are here in the comments too.
All right, so,
But you join the conversation.
Yeah.
And I like to teach that as well. And now you, Paulo, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm live right now. I could manage to go online on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching this is 100% in English. A lot of people, they tell me, say, oh, but your content is about the basics. And of course, because there is one thing that I learned over the years. If I want to be smart, I can talk about myself. If I want to be smart, I go back to the basics. I go back to, you know, one thing after the other, like verbs. I constantly go back to the basics. So yeah, there you go. So that's live is for you. And if you do not understand this, you should buy my course. Se você não está entendendo nada aqui em inglês, é um sinal que você precisa comprar o meu curso. Né? Então, aí você compra o meu curso, aí depois você volta, estuda uns 3, 4 meses, depois você volta aqui, escuta de novo, vai ficar um pouco mais claro. Aí você manda
Okay. Paulo is advertising himself in Portuguese.
Yeah, because people, you know, and I remember like, oh, should I advertise my course in English or in Portuguese? Should I advertise my Russian course in Russian or in, come on, you know? So if people don't know English, I should advertise it in Portuguese, of course, you know? And but I think I remember like a little magazine there was here in Rio, over in Brazil actually, but in which the teacher would advertise in English. So the English classes were advertised in English. So well, I hope he did well in business.
Yeah, it could show people that they really didn't understand they needed that.
Yeah, that's kind of a challenging thing. Yeah, so.
Yeah, for example, the lives used to be in Portuguese and English, because I found out that on Instagram is not the best place for me to teach on the board. So on YouTube, I use the board a lot. But on Instagram, it's vertical, it's reversed, the image is reversed, so it's not the best place to show content. But people love to chat here, to have conversations, and part of the conversation was in Portuguese, and part of the conversation was in English. And the main reason why people joined the conversation, even for watching, was to get into the English part. Sometimes we were hitting the conversation to go to the English, because I wanted first people to know the guest and then go to English. And during the hitting, during the conversation where we were knowing the guest, people, so when are you going to get to the English part? So I thought, okay, that's good, because yeah, of course it's going to be more difficult for some people who speak Portuguese to understand more, but that's another challenge. So I raised the bar, and it's easier to make the content available for people who are not from Brazil, right? Because I wanted people to be easily accessed, but now maybe it's even easier to be accessed because now you don't need to be a Brazilian to join the conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking, like, when we had this little break, because for example, I don't like samba, you don't like samba, I don't like soccer, you don't like soccer, and I was thinking, like, maybe maybe teaching the English language is a kind of rejection to the Brazilian values and standards. At least, I'll tell you what I see. Like, the majority of my students, they study English to escape from Brazil, you know, or to get out. Say, I'm fed up with Brazil, and or they're there. They went into the United States and they don't speak English. They could escape, and now they're there, but they're trapped again because they don't speak English, and they are in the Brazilian community outside of Brazil, which is a good start. But yeah, I think most of my students, they don't like samba.
It happens.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is something exclusive to you. I see a lot of people who want to learn English are the ones who don't identify themselves a lot with our country. I mean, not only the culture, sometimes they like some things from their culture, not only the
I like tapioca.
land.
Tapioca is
Yeah. But especially because of sorry?
By the way, tapioca is also in the United States right now, and people, so it's a good thing about Brazilian food, which, you know, Brazilian food is amazing for Brazilians. You know,
Yes.
because Brazilian food is horrible for foreigners.
Some of them,
They're polite.
some of them,
But they don't.
some of them drug deal our food.
Yeah, some Brazilians, when they go there, like,
And foreigners, because some foreigners, for example, they don't have, for example, our coffee. The cheapest coffee here is a treasure for many Americans. You know, some friends of mine, when they come, they have a luggage only to have couscous, tapioca, the cheap coffee, you know. But yeah, you're right. Brazilians complain a lot about missing their food when they're out.
Yeah, and I think coffee is a good example because Brazilian coffee is good worldwide, you know. But I'm pretty sure it is an exception that confirms the rule. So like you will not see Italians go back to Italy and say, oh, you know what I discovered? I love rice and beans and rice every single day. I'm gonna eat it. You know, I've never heard of it. I never heard a single story of a person that went back to their country and said, man, I fell in love with Brazilian food, and I never heard.
Okay, and that's interesting. So, guys, if you are a foreigner and you're listening to it, if you're watching, so please leave us a comment and tell us if you already tried Brazilian food, if you like it, if you are a Brazilian and you are living abroad now. Do you miss our food? What's the food that you're missing the most? And there is someone here, I think it's Renato. Renato saying hello, and there's someone else saying that they agree. Mauro de Oliveira is saying that he agrees. I don't know if he agrees with me or with you, but
that's it. That's it. You know. So he agrees. It's a good thing. You know.
Yeah.
We can move on from there. I'm happy. Thank you, Mauro. I agree. Yeah, that is a good thing. That's part. I don't know. It's like sometimes I have on my YouTube channel, and they said, "Oh, that was really smart," and they talk about like the video is like 1 hour long, and they said, "Oh, that phrase or what did you say or what did you say?" I don't know. I like. It seems to me that 40% of the YouTube comments I don't understand. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. And I'll tell you something curious about the comments. And first, I'm going to read the comments from Isis. Isis is saying, I love couscous. Mauro is saying, about Brazilian food. Awesome. Good. Now, it's better.
He's a very good student.
Okay, good.
I'm happy you're here. You're a very good student. You're doing good with your English. Go ahead.
I told you already that my most viewed video, my most engaged content on YouTube is in English. And about culture and stuff, some people think that learning English and reaching other cultures is denying their own. But actually, I use my platform, I use the English language to spread and speak more about our culture. So my videos in English are speaking about Brazil. And
okay.
my most engaged content, the title is, why do Brazilians say KKK, shwa 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 shwa, hue hue and stuff? And
KKK, that's awesome.
Yeah, and this is not a video with addition. Yeah. Yeah. Why are Brazilians so affectioned with KKK?
Yeah. Why Brazilians so much KKK?
And hue hue and stuff.
People like, you know.
So Paulo, guess.
Look at it and say they're workers. You're
yeah.
The video
so,
you explain. Listen.
Guess what's the majority of the comments? 99% of the comments. Guess what that is?
You're talking about I don't know, like Ku Klux Klan.
Okay, I'll tell you. 99% of the comments are KKKKKKKKKKK. Wait.
That's good. You see, like the Instagram, yeah, that's the Instagram filter. And like, why do I want a filter that I'm catching on fire? And that's the first option. You know, I don't want that. I don't want. You see, that's
Paulo
I don't
used
understand.
the.
Filter is like I'm catching on fire. You know, I don't need a filter to catch on fire. I can do.
Okay, yeah, guys. Paulo used the filter now on Instagram, and he was catching himself in fire, and that made us curious. Mauro was saying that the phone is too near my mouth, so and it's loud. Okay, so is it better now? Because I put that here because I didn't want to be low. Please, Mauro, tell me if it's better now, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, I think now it's very good for Mauro and very bad for me. I can listen you. So I think it's good for Mauro and bad for Paulo.
Oh, but can you understand? Can you hear?
I can, yeah, but it's kind of.
Okay, I'll try to. I'll try to make the middle way.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, so do you teach a lot of people that they want to go, like, live abroad? And tell me your story. How did you start teaching English? Why English? Why teaching? Why the struggle of being a teacher? Why this job?
Okay, that's a very good question. Two very good questions. I believe that my persona, I mean my avatar, the person who I tracked, that is the average kind of people who come to me to be my students, and the most engaged one are the ones who want to live abroad for a while or for the rest of their lives. And in the beginning, it was difficult to me because I've never lived abroad, you know, and I haven't gone abroad before teaching, and it was very recent, my experience abroad, but I had a lot of experience hosting foreigners, hosting people from abroad here, so I got a lot of contact with them. So I camped, I lived with many people who are not from Brazil. So today, some friends of mine, some of my best friends, even especially John, if you're listening to it, if you're watching to it, he's my best friend from out of Brazil. He's even closer to many friends surround me. And I see that really many people want to live abroad, to run from Brazil, and I always encourage them. Sorry?
Cape.
Yeah, to escape from Brazil. And I always encourage them to, since you're there and you're escaped and you saved yourself, so you are the key. You are the key, right?
And then you saved yourself from Brazil, and now that you're and abroad, so now.
Yeah, so you are the key of the. Yeah, you are the key of the prisons you escaped from, right? So, yeah, so now you can, since you're there, you have more conditions to help the ones you love here. So, do it.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, and that's one of the, I think, my main reason to stick with English, to stick teaching English. Mauro is saying, run away from Brazil. Lol. Okay, the thing is, I struggled a lot in being good at something. I told you offline in particular that I always loved to study. I didn't go play soccer, I didn't have a lot to do with people in the streets. So most of my time I was watching TV, reading. I was very curious, so I loved studying. But I had a very different rhythm. I didn't fit a lot to the system. First, to the educational system we have here in Brazil. And second, I studied in a public school, and in this school, this follows the educational system, but with a lot of bad quality. In my school, we didn't even have a meal. Some people go to school, go to public school because of the meal. We didn't even had a meal. So, and it was violent. Many times when I went to school, I got into fights. I was never the one who started the fight, but I was always caught in fights, etc. So school was a very difficult thing, Mauro is saying, I know what you mean, trust me. Yeah, but at school I had the library. I could have more time out of my house, and so I was very good friends with the woman who worked in the library. I had other friends too, and so at school I learned a lot, but most of them was not the things that the teachers were teaching. Because, for example, the teacher they wrote on the board, and when they finished writing the whole board, they had to erase the first part. And I was still in the middle of the first part, and it was difficult for me. I had a lack of attention. So sometimes I was watching the class, and I remembered something else, and I started to draw. It was not that I was not interested in the class, but for me it was so difficult to follow the system, to fit, to be evaluated just as the other students. So I always felt dumb. I always felt not intelligent, but I was interested. I studied. I did study. I was dedicated. I just didn't fit in. And some of the teachers didn't like me. They thought I was not interested, or I didn't respect their presence. I was just trying to fit in, and afraid of the student who was behind me, because in the break they would break me. This kind of stuff. And it was the time that I was in touch with some friends of mine, especially Carla Diana, Kaline, Camila, Nivea. I was the group of the girls, right? I was in the group of the girls. And that was the time that I was with them. And yeah, sometimes we started to speak in the class. It was not because I intended to. Out of the classroom, I would learn more because I would have my time to finish a book. So I didn't think I would be good at something, and my family wanted different things for me. My grandma wanted me to be a military. My father wanted me to go to technical school. Some other people
right.
from my...
I agree with your grandma. I think she was right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I tried to do different things, but the arts and English teacher, the teacher who was responsible for teaching English and arts. It was the class that people took for granted, because in English everyone would just be passed. They would not fail, because the teacher would not make any student fail. And it was something easy for me because I could understand. It's something that I was already interested. The teacher of arts, she took me to help her with the class. So do that drawing on the board. Take this pen. So sorry? Oh no, she was an old lady, very sweet, and I love her. But you know, she was not a native speaker of English. But during the English classes, she showed things. She was very sweet. Yeah, kind of. And she would not fail anyone.
History teacher played a little bit of the role of my mom as well. She was very maternal and very caring.
Yeah, so in arts and English, I was not pushed. There were no expectations. So these were the classes which I enjoyed the most, because it was just enjoying the class, you know. So take the blue paint and the yellow paint. Now mix it. What color is it? Green. Okay, now paint something green. Man, I love doing that. You know, it was a playtime for me. So, and English, I was learning what the cartoons that I watched was saying, you know, because you have the titles, we have the signs, and that was very good for me. But I didn't learn arts or English at these classes, but I could think that these were things that I could learn easily. So I didn't master anything, but I knew some English and I was good with arts. So, but I could not be an artist because it doesn't give money, etc. So when I started to go find something to work with, I didn't identify. I was not so good at something, but I was good at teaching. I used art to try to deliver the class, as I was doing with the breaking the ice thing, using theater, using arts, using books, you know. So that helped me a lot, and I was being considered a good English teacher. But I always thought, man, if you want to be a teacher, you have to be intelligent. And I never thought that I was intelligent. So some people did. I didn't really trust. But the thing is, I didn't think about how much I would receive, because I never, you know, in Brazil here, teacher is the profession that people run away from, right? So, but for me it was, hey, I can do that. I can do that. I had to do so many things. I cleaned toilets. I had to be in supermarkets trying to be the cashier and doing counting things. So I had to go to telecommunication industry.
How old
and
were
trying
you?
to
How when you started working?
when I started working with informal things, I was a teenager. So I sold ice cream in the streets, you know, but I couldn't do a lot because my family would not want me to do that, and I was not encouraged to do that, but I have always been okay, first we spoke about self-development. The forbidden word.
Entrepreneurial.
Yeah, I have always been entrepreneurial. I'm sorry, guys, but that's it. That's the reality. But I was not very. I didn't have a lot of incentives to do that. But okay. But as an English teacher, I could have a class. I mean, I could have people with me. I would go to the people to teach what I know. I could speak with confidence. I could play because I was allowed to play with the students. I was allowed to invent. I was allowed to innovate. And I was allowed to be hairy.
Family.
Sorry?
It's a good family. When you get your students together and you can parent them, it's like you can move on to a better family, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Because at first, it was so difficult for me to fit in a group. I had some groups, but it was difficult to me to fit in a group. But now, I was the leader of many groups, and I could help them fit in. I could see students who thought they would know nothing, who would understand nothing, and I could help people who had difficulties to learn. And that's still the way I do things. I'm not the kind of teacher who, no, you have to reach my level. No, I go to your level and pull you to mine, but in your rhythm, your way. I know it's not for everyone, but that's how I found that I could give value to the system, you know. That's how I could have my daily bread, and I really could help other people. I tried to graduate in letras. Here in Brazil we call letras. This is the college for the ones who learn literature, language, and education, etc. So I always tried to graduate.
Story, Cleyson. That's a beautiful story, the way you put it. I like that.
Oh, thank you. I always tried, but it was difficult. Very difficult because we don't have many options. I couldn't afford that. But I actually did something crazy, that when I was teaching, I had the money that could help me pay the college, and that's just that. But to stay in the work to stay in the school where I was teaching, I needed the license, because in Brazil it's licenciatura. You have a license to be a teacher, right? So I couldn't stay there because I didn't have a license, but I could not have the license if I could not pay that, and I needed the work for that. So I went, I broke into a college. I didn't know how to keep that, and I couldn't. So I had to leave the job. I couldn't stay in the college, but starting a college and not finishing was better than just the high school on your resume. So
you're not it at all, you know.
Yeah, so I could go and graduate in advertisement because it was cheaper. It was something that I was very good, because what is advertisement? It's behavior, art, and communication. And you can use these tools to make money. So I could graduate in advertisement, and now I advertise myself as an English teacher, and I am studying letras. That's the journey.
That's a beautiful story. I like that. It's like nothing better than if you do not fit into a club. There's nothing better than starting your own club, right?
Exactly, meu clube do inglês. In English is my English club.
Not a coincidence at all. No.
And that's the spirit. That's the spirit of meu clube do inglês. So in Portuguese, I have my company, my school, my English school is meu clube do inglês, which means my English club. And that's the spirit.
That's very good. So now you can get other misfits to join your club.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey guys, now we have a club.
And the good thing,
Anywhere else here, you can learn English, you can do something, you can have fun, and we can talk about things, and we can do it in English. So that's awesome.
yeah, and you know, something good is that now there was a plot twist. The losers now are cool.
Correct, yeah.
It's a good time to be a loser because now it's pop. What is pop culture if not the culture of the losers who now can pay to get what they want? And now I have a lot of large variety of people who I can work with, who I can have a good relationship with. I actually have a community of friends who I can help, where I can speak about the books I like, about the series I'm watching, about the movies. I can help them in their struggles because English for me is something that helped me to overcome my difficulties and to reach things that I thought that I would never do. And now I can help others do that. It's just a way to think English, not as the finish, not as the end of the rainbow, but the rainbow. You know, it's not the place where you want to arrive, but that's the bridge. So I can help people in their journeys.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. So I cheated.
Not specifically the goal that matters, but the process of getting there. And if you have fun during the process, you will get there.
Yes, and as I am not afraid of being silly, you know, as I'm not afraid of being a loser, I don't sell myself as a hero. I never sell myself as a hero. As a matter of fact, I'll say something that Paulo is going to understand more than I do. You know that sometimes I imitate you, right, Paulo?
Do and you do it very well.
Thank you. And as I like theater and stuff, so sometimes I imitate Paulo, I imitate some people, and I get their posture and stuff. And Paulo asked me, Cleyson, please, let me understand something. So you mean that you can speak differently, you can behave differently, and I don't mean you should, but why don't you why don't you show yourself in a different way? I'm just curious. And I said, okay, I like being able to do that. That may be some advantage that I have, but the person I am is this one. It's not the person who can speak I'm not Barry White. I'm more like Sid from the Ice Age. People who listen to me, who listen to my voice, they say, hey, that's Sid from the Ice Age. And I think it's funny. You know? Yes, I can. I can speak differently. I can try to show myself more seriously, maybe I mean, yes, I could be more charming, right? But actually, I never intend to be the charming. Now I can be the funny. Now I can be the person who people can relate with. Not everyone. You know, not everyone. I'm going to be the silly one, and I'm okay with that because now I'm allowed to do that. I don't need to pretend. For example, I kind of have this story that I won in life, but I'm not one of these millionaires. Some people who are on the internet. Oh, that's how I won because I have. No, guys, I'm still emerging in society, but I have a very simple life. I don't have much, but I have a good life quality, and I'm still building things with your help, with the help of the people who are here, and the ones who are paying to be in the community are helping to build that. I always deliver things for free, but the ones who want to pay are going to be closer to me and help to build that. It's meu clube do inglês, it's my English club, but it can be yours too. You can say meu clube do inglês.
That is a good thing. Yes, you can be Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. You're totally right.
Yeah. I think I don't like Parker and Spider-Man. It's like a very good depiction of the current status of our society right now. And there's one thing that, like, because Peter Parker is a fucking loser, and but then he becomes Spider-Man, thing that I heard recently about superheroes. And as you know, I'm not very fond of comic books or anything of that sort, but like Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man, or Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. So they have this weak person that becomes a superhero. But what is interesting, like at the plot twist, is the type of the Superman. Because Superman is Superman. He was born a Superman. And he disguises himself as Clark Kent so he can approach humans,
Exactly. So Superman is his real persona, and Clark Kent is how he pretends to be a loser.
Yeah, it's like Clark Kent is the critique that Superman does on society. Say, all right, so you're weak, you're fallible, you're shy, and you're kind of awkward looking, and that's how he disguises himself as a human, so he can talk to people, because he was born Superman. But then he becomes onto I don't like the thing, but I don't like the cartoons. But the story is pretty interesting. If you see it that way.
There are many other layers for that, right? Because he was raised by humans, right?
No,
and he always wanted to be part of humanity, but he was he was born with advantages that he always had to hide. And let me say something. What about the length now, the time now to think it's safe to keep?
Yeah,
or maybe we could...
I think it's about time for us to wrap it up, right? I see here in my timer, we have about 10 minutes.
So what about what about wrapping up on another? Just to finish, we could close this one, start another, and get things to to the end. What do you think about?
I think it's a good thing. I'm having fun. So just give me
Okay.
5 minutes and I'll be right back and we move on from there. Is that all right with you?
Okay. That's good because I need some time to publish that as well. So, guys, we have a little break now. In 5 minutes, we get back. Okay, and you who stepped to the part 2, now go to part 3. Bye-bye. See you in 5 minutes. Bye-bye.